All right, let's get into it. So, the title for this video is basically having a mountaintop mentality. And what I mean by that is the mentality that Martin Luther King had, where he saw the world that could be and that he said will be. And he did his best to live into it in the present moment. Hello, T. Ree. So, yesterday I gave a talk about Dr. King as a spiritual ancestor for all people who want to embody the values that they profess. We're living in a very strange time where the world that Dr. King fought to free us from, through his relationships and network and his preaching and teaching is now before us, where we have this situation where we have to ask ourselves, how will we show up in this moment? I know that when I was younger, friends and family would talk about if we lived in the time that Dr. King lived in, or we lived in slavery time, how we would be and what we would do, and whether we would cower, whether we would stand up for justice. Well, this is a season where many of us are having an opportunity to figure out exactly what we're made of. Now, another thing I saw yesterday that was interesting to me is I saw a video of a Black woman saying why she was so proud to walk around with her Black partner with the MAGA hat on. And she said that it made it apparent to her that he was on the side of God, America, and family. Now, people are entitled to believe what they want to believe. And this, for me, shows that we live in a world where we truly cannot judge people by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And what I have found is that it's becoming increasingly evident with every decision that comes out of this administration, that we can see very clearly where people stand. Now, there are people that are uninformed, there are people that are misinformed. And I have to put a special kind of designation for folks like that. And then there's people who just want to believe what they want to believe. And they are not going to change their minds unless it directly impacts them. And there's always been people like that. And those people I have no time for. In fact, I don't even have time for the people who are misinformed or uninformed, because I am focusing on folks with a mountaintop mentality. I'm focusing on folks who are going up the mountain because they want to look over like Dr. King did and see the promised land, to see the mentality of a person, or see a world that reflects the mentality of people who want to truly be part of one human family and make decisions from the reality that we are all, as he's taught, inextricably woven together in a network of mutuality. It really is that way. And if you spend any time reflecting, meditating, or just contemplating life, you will see that all things are truly connected and that it doesn't take a lot of effort to see that. For example, I'm talking to you through this technology, right? And on the other end, you are receiving what I'm saying through this technology. Now, the people who created this technology, we are now directly connected to them. All the things that have informed me that contribute to me communicating the way that I do are because of relationships I've had, books I've read, failures I've made. And if you're receiving anything I'm giving, you are now connected to the entire being of my life. And I'm also connected to the entire being of your life by just simply communicating. So we are exchanging beingness with one another. We're interbeing, as Thich Nhat Hanh said it. And so we're all connected. And so if we come to our decisions that we make from that mentality, we are going to move differently in the world, as opposed to someone who's into this mentality that we call WIFM, which is what's in it for me. And I have no time for those people. I'm not judging them. I'm not condemning them. I am simply ignoring them. They can do what they want to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do, which is to be with people who are trying, people who have made it to the mountaintop, maybe people who've been to the other side and want to give guidance on how to get there. That's who I'm for right now. I don't have time for the other people. So what does it mean to have a mountaintop mentality? One is to have a present sense of awareness and to be able to get a view of the landscape you're in and to determine, is this a place you want to be or not? let's see what Thierry said. Bonhoeffer wrote about folly, which we interpret as willful ignorance, stupidity today. Yeah, I love Bonhoeffer. Man, he's one of those people who, practiced what he preached and gave his life for what he believed, like Dr. King or some of the many other people, Jesus or Gandhi to some degree, all sorts of people. So yeah, Bonhoeffer's great. And yes, there are people who practice folly, and the Bible actually talks about people who practice folly in Ecclesiastes and other places. So, but yeah, so the people who have the mountaintop mentality have come to the awareness that they know that there are things that they don't know, and they're willing to learn those things. See, there's people who don't know that they don't know, and you can't do anything with them because those people have the one side of Dunning-Kruger effect where they take a little bit of information and they think they know all they need to know. Fuck those people. I don't mean it, and I'm trying to sound like a jerk, but that's all I can say. I don't mean it like to write them off like a terrible way. It's just you can't do anything about them. Just leave them alone. They're just doing their thing, not knowing that they don't know. And then there's people that come to their awareness that they don't know, but instead of saying, "Hey, I don't know," they try to hide, manipulate, lie, craft, do all sorts of things except for learn. I don't know if you ever met a person who will put in hours and hours of effort to cheat, and they don't have to do that because if they put that same effort into actually learning, they would be an intelligent person, but they put all their effort into not doing whatever it is that they need to do. There's people like that. Fuck them. Sorry, I don't usually talk like this, but this is where I am. Fuck those people too. Just let them do their thing. And then there's people who say, man, I realize now that I don't know. That means that there's room for me to learn. How can I learn? And they will read books. They will go to YouTube. They'll ask ChatGPT. They'll try to learn stuff. They will find people. And there's some of those people who they'll learn stuff and then they try to pretend like they never were ignorant. And you know what? I got room for those people. I understand that. Sometimes you get embarrassed by what you don't know, so you don't want to put it out there. That's fine. I understand. I have some people in my life that are like that. Some people that I know they used to believe one thing, and then all of a sudden they act like they never believed it. I don't say anything. I just welcome them to the fold. So those kind of people are the beginning people that I have some room for. And like myself, I've said out there before, I was raised conservative, fundamentalist, Christian, yada, yada, yada. And I moved through life through relationships and shifting and shifting and shifting. And I'm going to keep shifting till the day I die. So I have room for those people. Then there's people who actively pursue knowledge on a consistent basis. They take even the things that they know pretty well, they're able to say, hey, I know this pretty well, but there's always more to learn. And they will engage with other people. They will talk to people who have actual experience. Those people, that's mountaintop mentality too. So I have space for them. And then there's people who get through all the different stages. And then there's folks who have that bodhisattva type of mentality where they made it to the promised land, but they won't go into the promised land because meaning the highest level of consciousness, but they won't go without other people. And they'll come back and they'll teach us and bless us and spend time with us and learn with us. And they'll even talk to some of those other folks that are just like being willfully ignorant. And they can do that. I'm not there yet. But there's different people at different stages. And my stages are from people who can admit that they don't know up to wherever the highest level of knowledge is. That's all I got time for. Those are people with mountaintop mentalities. The rest of them, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you. Life is short. And some of y'all know I'm even more hyper aware of how life short is because my brother was killed a couple of days before Christmas. And it just further solidifies who I have time for and who I don't have time for. But here's the great thing. And this may sound counterintuitive to some people who think that hanging around ignorant people who love being ignorant is somehow making them a good person. It isn't. It's making you an ignorant person because we become the company we keep. But I would say that for those of us who are trying, everybody benefits from the people who are trying. Even the ignorant people, even the people who are willfully ignorant, even with people who are trying to cheat and do all this other sneaky stuff, when the world gets better, their world also gets better. It might be hard for them to see, but it does get better. So I want to put out here that it's very well worth dropping people, kicking the dust off your feet, as Jesus said, or not casting your pearl before swine, as Jesus said. And that's with everybody, with your family, with your friends. Drop them. Now, just dropping them doesn't mean you don't have to be around them at all. Just when they say things that are stupid, conserve your energy. Just walk away, laugh, fart, so that they get distracted. Do something, but do not invest energy in these folks, because they will take that energy and then they will misuse it. Take your energy and your mind as like it's money, and ask yourself, would you invest money? Would you go into business with somebody like this? And if your answer is you won't go into business with somebody like this, then don't invest your thoughts into the people like this. Don't invest your energy into people like this, because they don't know what to do with what you're saying. And I know from being a fool myself that no matter how much you try to tell them, they aren't going to listen. They're not going to listen unless they suffer. And they aren't going to suffer as long as you keep caring for them when they're being this way. That's just how it is. I didn't write the rules, as my dad used to say when he said stupid stuff. But the point is, this season needs you folks to use your best mountaintop mentality to serve your community and to serve your world and to protect yourself. I have a friend who's a really awesome, supportive person. And oftentimes that person puts too much of their energy and life force into people that is pointless. I don't know why they do it. I mean, I can't say I don't know why, because I've been in relationships with people who I know uh, were harmful, but I didn't realize they were. Once I realized they were, then I said, "Oh shoot, this is what you're about," and I left them alone. And I continued to go up this mountain. And now I'm not gonna say I'm at the mountaintop, but I'm definitely can see the peak. I definitely can see the peak. I've been through enough valleys. I've climbed enough. I've tried enough. I've failed enough. I've gotten hurt enough. And I definitely see the peak coming. And I'm going to keep going towards the peak and hopefully keep going beyond that. But to those folks who uh, are in my orbit right now, I want to encourage you, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Love people, but also keep people in proper perspective. I'll use Jesus as an example again, because I still roll with this guy. When his brother and mom showed up when he was in the middle of talking, he said, "Who of my brother and my mother and my sisters, or whatever the case may be, the people who do the will of God, that's my people." You know what I mean? We have to start making decisions like that. We have to start saying, you are not my people. And it doesn't matter if that's your mom, your dad, your bloodline. It doesn't matter, because I know there are many people who I'm trying my best not to put them down, but they just will not learn. And call it willful, call it stupid, call it ignorant. The function is the same. Would you keep putting gas in a car that doesn't have an engine? No. It's like got a hole, the gas leaking out, and I had an engine, but you're just like, oh, why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. Don't do it. When you realize the thing doesn't work anymore, just don't do it. Just stop. And if you need help stopping, come back to this video. Make a community of other people who are on this journey to the mountaintop and are willing to let go and build bonds with those folks. It's time. I don't feel like talking about this creature too much, because it's not worth my energy. What's worth my energy is people like you, people who are ready to live into their values. I feel like I've said enough. I'm going to keep saying stuff. Matter of fact, I want to say that at the bottom of this video, once it's published, I'm going to post the video of my talk from yesterday, where I talk about Dr. King being a spiritual ancestor for people who are doing their best to live into their professed values, regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of politics, regardless of nationality. He was a person operating from spiritual power. Actually, hold on for a second. I'm back. One of the things I posted to people or shared with people yesterday is that this book right here is a book I've been reading through for years. It's called A Testament of Hope, The Essential Writings and Speeches of Martin Luther King Jr. Look how thick this book is. And this is only some of what this man wrote and put out and did interviews of. But you see how thick that is? And yet, so many of us, all we know is, I have a dream and don't hit back. and then maybe he had sex with some women on the side. What bullshit. Come on now. There's so much to this guy. His philosophies, his theories, his prophecies, many of which are coming true right now. So much to this person. And he was a human indeed, just like we all are. But this was a person that was striving and striving and striving, facing death. His family was facing death. His house got bombed, and he got threats after threats after threats. He was bugged. He went through so much stuff, and he kept on going. He kept on going. And there's not a lot of people in this world that will do that, and especially in this last century. But he kept on going, kept on going. I can't say it enough. I've been honoring this dude my whole life. And I'm telling you, there's so much that we need to know that this dude, Dr. King, shared with us that we miss out on every year. This is the only holiday I give a crap about. I don't care about Christmas. I don't care about Easter. I don't care about Thanksgiving. I don't care about Valentine's Day. I don't care about any of those stupid holidays that are full of commercialism and all the American lies that we buy into every day and then invest meaning in. Like, you didn't give me flowers for Valentine's Day. I mean, I play along because I don't feel like having a certain arguments, but I'm fundamentally, it's stupid and I don't participate. The only holiday, I don't participate internally. I might go along with people because I don't feel like hurting some people's feelings. But the only holiday I give a crap about, which doesn't even matter, is MLK Day, because it's a day that actually has substance, transformative substance, and a contemplative day. That's the only holiday I care about. The rest of them can kick rocks. Why? Because the rest of them are meaningless. The rest of them take stuff from us. Even Thanksgiving that lies about the relationship with the indigenous people is all BS. Every single breath of it is BS. And everybody knows it, but they just keep going along with crap because that's what we've been doing for a long time. I am not the one to do that. I never have. Even when I was a little kid, I begged my mom, don't buy me these BS Christmas gifts. I don't want this. And she was like, what's wrong with you? Well, I don't know if something was wrong with me. But I'll tell you what's right with me. What's right with me is I can see BS and I don't like participating in it. And I won't, unless I ain't even gonna say unless I don't like it, I don't want to be a part of it. What I want to be a part of is real community, real love, real transformation, people learning from their mistakes. But you got to be humble and say, I made mistakes. Man, if I listed off the mistakes I made, which are many, I would just be writing mistakes for days and days and days. So I've been making mistakes all my life, but I've been learning from my mistakes all my life. And that is something we all have the capacity to do if we place an ideal on actually raising our level of consciousness, raising our level of awareness, and trying to be better people. Like I said in the video previously, I wasn't raised to embrace people LGBTQ community. I was raised on the opposite. But then I met a trans person that was full of the spirit and I couldn't pretend like they weren't. So I changed. I was like, dang, I was wrong. And I shifted. That's it. It's that easy. You know what I mean? If somebody tell you spell dog C-A-T and then you find out it's not spelled that way, you're going to just keep sticking with it because your mom who can't read told you the dog is spelled C-A-T? No, you're going to say, damn, my mom don't know what the hell she's talking about. And then you're going to spell dog the right way. Good Lord. Anyway, I'm going on a rant and I'm hyped because it's MLK Day and that's how I get on this day. When I look at the world and I look at myself and I think of the progress we still have yet to make, I get hyped. So I'm not trying to stress anybody out and I'm not trying to put anybody in an awkward situation, but this is the season. If you are wanting a better world, then think about what you can do to make that world possible and not just like sit back and wait this one out, because there's things you can do. Even if you're not a protesting type person, then go on Facebook and delete all your dumb friends. Like I've been deleting people like crazy. Like there's something that can be done because we have to draw lines. We have to create relational consequences. We have to help people see. We don't have to help. They don't have to see, but they can learn by your absence. Like I had to do that with people. They said, Pedro, blah, blah. I said, yeah, listen, I'm sorry. I told one of my friends, I said, man, I'm gonna have to be done with you for the rest of my life, bro. And he was like, why are you saying you're gonna be done with me for the rest of my life? I said, because you consistently say things that make no sense. Like, why would I keep talking to you? Because you just are bent on saying stuff that doesn't make sense. We don't have to have this conversation. There's plenty of people that are just as ignorant as you that you can go talk to and have a good time. Don't invite me to your stupid party. And he was like, I don't know if he was hurt, but I had to let this dude go. And I was sad because I love him, but I couldn't listen to him anymore because words came out of his mouth and the words he said were dumb, and I just couldn't participate. And I didn't come to him telling him smart stuff or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm feeling like a jerk today, and I got a lot of juice going on. But anyway, I appreciate y'all being here. I can't even believe anybody stayed here for this rant. But at any rate, this is me right now. I am going to continue to pursue consciousness, continue to pursue truth. I'm going to love people, and sometimes loving people is letting them go. And that is the world that is. You know what I mean? So thank you for your time. Hopefully, I'll make y'all want to delete me forever. But hey, if you do, I understand why. I kind of went on a rant there, but I'm saying it for a purpose. I love people. I believe that we have the capacity to live fully into who we are. And as failed as he might have been, this dude did not give up and he kept on going. And I have so much respect for that. We have all kinds of sports heroes and all sorts of people who have not done anything but make a lot of money for themselves and then not give a crap about the rest of the world. And we forgive them for all their different failings and the different mistakes they made. But then we hold certain other people to standards that we can't even hold ourselves. Please miss me with that. Do your best and the spirit will take care of the rest. I just felt like leaving on a rhyme. I love y'all. Peace, and share with somebody if you get something out of this. And if you don't, I totally understand. I haven't listened to this yet. I don't even know half the things I just said, but I know they came from my heart. That much I know for sure. And that's something that you will always get from me. For better or worse, I'm going to come straight from my heart. I'm going to say what I think. And I'll do my best to do it in a kind way. And then sometimes kindness is telling you get out of my face or walking away. And that's also love, believe it or not. And if you don't believe me, if you're a real Christian or fake Christian, just read the teachings. That dude kicked people to the curb for reasons. You know, I'm gonna actually say a couple more things. Another thing this dude said, I'm talking about Jesus now. He told people who tried to convert people, he said, listen, you cross land and sea trying to make one convert and you make them twice as much a son of hell as yourself. He told people you eat a camel and you strain at a gnat, meaning you take in a bunch of stuff, but you can't, you strain trying to release just a little something for all the stuff that you take in. He called them brood of vipers. He called them foxes. He called people what they were, not saying that they couldn't change, because he also hung out with all kinds of people and created opportunity for transformation for those people. But those people, he also said, hey, you want to get healed? You know what I mean? And if they said, nah, I ain't about getting healed, then he probably would have ignored them. So the point is, whatever you do, make it as honest as possible. And sometimes being as honest is telling people where they are and telling them where you're going. And if they want to go to the mountaintop and they want to be with you and you're going to the mountaintop, then they'll follow you there. And if they don't, then let them be where they want to be. All right, that's it. I said a bunch of stuff. The video at the bottom is the message that I gave at Unity Columbine Spiritual Center, which is about Dr. King as a spiritual ancestor and for all people, not just Black people, because some people think that Dr. King was just for Black people because maybe they got bad education at school. This guy was for humanity and people who are born. There's a lot of people of color who are on that goofy train, who are the opposite of everything Dr. King stood for and would disparage him and all that stuff like that, which, you know, you take it or leave it. But so not everybody, as Black folks say, not all skin folk or kin folk, everybody, that's true. But if you all operate from the same spirit, then we're family. That's what's up. All right. Thank you.